I realized as Baloo's maturing, because I get Baloo first, was my first boy. I said, oh, this is going to be a bad idea. And I probably had never been so disappointed in myself after getting a dog that literally will not walk around the block. Just don't want to do nothing. But the irony was, that's the first time I got hoodwinked. Somebody screwed me over on 2 pups in my first litter. And in that time, I make another poor choice. My buddy gives me a French Bulldog, and we decide to go buy one. This is a bad idea, people. We're working through phase 2 now. I just got Zara active. We learned that we lost the opportunity to work with Champ. I go, look, hey, I need to find a dog trainer. I need to remember what it's like to train a dog because all my dogs are trained. And I used to be obsessed about it, but it's like, whatever. We live in a different world now. So I take Zara to see Stan. And get this, at some point I take Maya too. I go, God, this dog's worthless. Maya just looks stupid. She just is like, huh? And he was like, I don't think I'll be able to get her going. Eventually Maya got a little active. We never got her on the suit, but she got active. I take Zara to see Stan. Zara kills it. First day. And she's rowdy, so I knew she was going to turn up. I realized as Baloo's maturing, because I get Baloo first, was my first boy. I said, oh, this is going to be a bad idea. As I read his pedigree, Baloo's pedigree has a high amount of dex. And whenever you're starting, you want to take something bully, how I wanted to do it, to something terrier, in a sense. Both the bullies, but more bully, to the terrier side to create a unique look. Baloo can't do anything but huff and puff and make noise and don't go on no walks, etc. So I'm like, dude, I'm actually going to have to pay for a stud fee. Well, get this. I bought Baloo for $7,000. And I probably had never been so disappointed in myself after getting a dog that literally will not walk around the block. Just don't want to do nothing. Once Zara goes out to Stan, we now make going to Burleson, Texas a thing, which is 40 miles. And I want to build her up and see how far I can take her. Then, as I said, I'm sitting there on Christmas thinking, what's the right and the best move to make? I buy a stud credit. Well, that's a whole nother thing. The night of Christmas, 'twas the night before Christmas, and I bought some semen, of all things. And I leveraged it during her next heat. Instead of using Baloo, I used Earl the Merle, hence the Merle thing. Because it's like, everybody, Merle like this, man. They coming out with 3 eyes. They're like, no, they're not. The Australian Shepherd, the Great Dane, the Alapaha Bulldog, they've always had Merle. The Catalua, Merle. Merle isn't the problem that they make it is. Can it become a problem? Yes, but not in those ways. And we're not even going to use this dog to populate the world with more Merles. And we sold our dogs at a fair price. But the irony was, that's the first time I got hoodwinked too. And I'll tell you about that in another story. Somebody screwed me over on 2 pups in my first litter. And they didn't screw me because they paid the price, but they played a game. But that's a whole nother thing. Zara gets out there. She does what I wanted to see her do. We're jumping on hay bales. We're going and doing work inside of barns. She's on my heels. We're hitting the park every day. She's giving me 2 to 3 miles. Matter of fact, one time I got mad because she did a mile and some change and just stopped. And I watched this husky in 110-degree weather walk past her at Arbor Hill Park. I said, what are you doing? Now I'm getting more mad. She split her paw. I got her back there on these hot stones, and I hadn't considered the fact that it's boiling in Texas. Paws busted open, ripped open. I go, God, Lee, so get this. Here's a trick. Get you some mushers. Mushers is a cooling agent you can rub on your dog's paws, and as the ground gets hotter, or it gets hotter, the dog's paws get cooler, objectively. Doesn't mean you won't split a paw if the dog doesn't have calluses, though. Zara keeps getting better and better. One time I drive Maya to the park, she can't even get to a walk. I walk her down the thing and I'm like, oh, she ain't gonna make it. If I don't take her back right now, she gonna die. take mine back. Zara's coming right along. Stan and I are both building our relationship in terms of dog development. And I realized very quickly that this dog training thing is a new thing to me because I'm not familiar with it. But what an opportunity. So I said, Stan, I'll pay you $2 million to go away in 5 years. Or you can help me build this whole thing out. And maybe in the future you guys will be a part of that as well. But that comes later. Once I see that Zara can do the things that I'm looking for, now I double down on the work. Take her to a dog who's more docile. We get Ego. In the middle of getting Ego, or Ego being born, my buddy, he wanted to get into breeding and he had already bought 2 French Bulldogs. He breeds the 2 Frenchies, but he don't got no time. And he got a baby on the way. And 2 kids. So he's like, son, yo, I need you to come help me whelp this litter. I'm like, all right. I gotta live at your house, but I won't bring Zara, but Ego has to come. He's like, all right, that's fine. I'll bring Ego with me. And you'll learn that Ego's good with Frenchies and all this other stuff. And in that time, I make another poor choice. My buddy gives me a French Bulldog, and we decide to go buy one. This is a bad idea, people. This is a bad idea. I'm like, insert Asha. I should have never done this. I don't even like Frenchies. And even the day I got Macho, I gave him away. Bruh, the dog craze, the dog stuff was going so crazy that in 2 months, I had basically added a French Bulldog, been given a French Bulldog. I got a Merle with me, then whelped the litter, and don't even have Zara, so she can't work and do anything. And in the middle of me going out to a few parks, she tears her knee. Guys, let me tell you this. This is all in like year 2. It's had to be year 2. Yep, just under year 2, year and a half back in the game. So we learned that Champ can't produce because he's shooting dust. We learned that Zara's capable of anything. We learned that buying Baloo was a long-term investment versus a short-term, but from an investment standpoint, I'm never going to make any money off of them because it's going to be a bunch of rejects, which they were. Then I go and help my buddy with a litter of Frenchies, and I named the one I'm keeping Macho. And after I get ready to like leave his house after everything's good, he has his child, etc. I'm like, I got nowhere to put this dog. Come get this dog. I got a Frenchie, now that's a female. Look at these problems adding up. I got a Frenchie that's a problem, and I go, okay, this ain't gonna work. I get that away to a homegirl of mine. And the only thing I'm left with is Ego. See this? All these problems, and it gets you back to one solution. Ego. Hence, the story continues. Now, if you are starting off and things start the way that mine started, and again, I made some very bad choices starting off. You would have quit a long time ago because the stuff's going crazy. The little few $1,000s I made from Zara's litter, I had to literally put into her knee. She had just like clockwork started her period again. And I'm like, dang, she can't carry no litter with a torn ligament and CCL. And then they said that it's a 99, if not 90% chance she's gonna tear her other one. So I'm 10,000 on knees. Guys, this is just getting worse and worse by the second as I'm talking about it. And we haven't even got to, while all this is taking place before Zara, I do a 10-day bid in California to go see some bullies. We haven't even got to ABKC Nationals. I'm just telling you what happened in the first, well, that's it. Till next time, people. Take care of your dogs.